sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Today I will give you one assignment of the first assignment on C programming. Okay, so that will be assignment number 3, the simple C programs. Okay, and uh, regarding your previous assignment, so okay, let me check how many of you submitted the assignment. Let me check. Google Classroom. So I am not going into the details of that basic Linux command right now, because already you have completed a loop in C programming language. Okay, let me check how many of you. In that case, I will extend 1 or 2 days, because today I like to directly start that C programming language. Already you have studied. So which book you are studying? Anyone from you? Which book you are studying? One, two.
Sir, let us see by Vaikanitkar.
Let us see where you are. So you to study the book as per your class teacher suggestions. Okay, so that book you can read, but sometimes you have to be very careful, because in their book something they have written compiler specific. For example, uh, in some book you just find the memory requirement. I mean the number of bytes required by a particular data type, for say int, is say 2 bytes. So for example, let us see, you found it's 2 bytes. Okay, then 2 bytes, that is in Turbo C. Okay, so actually what they have written, they have considered Turbo C compiler. So it depends on the compiler how much size will be occupied by a particular variable of a particular data type in memory. That depends on compiler. So compiler, in different compilers, different amount of spaces may be reserved by the data type. For example, in Turbo C, the integer is 2 bytes. In ANSYS, in our lab, in our institute, whatever we supply to the students, they use Ubuntu, the ANSYS, it's 4 bytes. Okay, so it depends on the compiler what will be the size of a particular data type. Okay, it depends on the compiler. So for that there is a function. So you are using printf, scanf. These are the functions that you are calling. These are the library functions. Okay, so there are 2 kinds of functions: user defined functions, that you will learn in the later section of your classes. User defined functions that you have to write yourself. Okay, and some of the functions are ready for you to use. Which are those functions? Printf, scanf, sqrt, several such functions are there, and we call these readily available functions as library functions. Okay, that may be related to mathematics, that may be related to input output. So printf scanf, you have to use the header file hash include stdio.h for this input output, standard input output. For mathematics related, you are using, for example, you are using pow a comma b. What is the meaning of that? If you write x equals to pow a comma b, then it will be, the value of x will be x equals to a to the power b. So that is a function already developed for you and is in that particular compiler, that is a pow. That is a mathematical related to mathematics. Similarly, sqrt, say x equals to sqrt 64. So what will be the value of a? Square root of 64, that is 8. In this manner, there are different kinds of mathematical, related to mathematics. These functions are related to mathematics. So for these mathematical, this kind of library functions, we use a header file hash include hash include math.h. .h means header file. You are including the name of that header file at the beginning. That means you are going to use some of the library functions whose description is written in that particular header file. So once the compiler will know what the function actually is by scanning the header file, the compiler will consider that function like that, which is already defined, already implemented in that compiler. Okay. Similarly, some string related functions. String, you will study it later after the midterm exam. String, so another header file, string.h. There we can just check whether two strings are same or not. Then CMP, compare to concatenate two strings, concat, to reverse a string, std, string, string, string reverse. And these kind of different kinds of functions. Then you have to include hash include string.h. So different kinds of header files required. So what I am trying to say, these printf, scanf, these functions, these are the library functions. And similarly, I started with one point, that is how you know what is the size of a particular.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
sir, can you please record this meeting?
Okay. I forget to do that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
yes.
what is compiler?
Compiler. Compiler is a software. Okay, that is a system software. There are two kinds of software. So one is application software and another is system software. Okay. Say for example, you are playing a game that is not required by the system, so that is optional. You are using a medical software required for your medical shop. So user specific application development. Okay. So right now you are writing program. A program consists of several instructions. You are writing printf, scanf, int a, float z, ended with semicolon. So these are the instructions. So instructions, program consists of several instructions. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And we develop software. So we have to write programs. So our software again is, so again you are asking the theoretical questions, compiler, and so in the chat box we are writing difference between compiler and interpreter. Okay, I am coming to this one by one. So this will be covered in theoretical classes. Okay, still I am just sharing, so that a collection of programs, a set of programs that performs a specific task is called software. For example, you are trying to develop a mathematical calculator. Okay, so a single program may be enough to write that program, or you may divide the task into different modules. Different programs may be written for that. Okay, so for example, so U5 is for a team to develop a particular software. So you divide your complex software into different modules. We call that an divide and conquer approach. Okay, so divide the entire complex problem into several sub problems and distribute the sub problems so among your team members. Okay, so they will write their own programs, and at the end you have to integrate all these. I mean, you divide the problem, solve the sub-problem, divide the problem into sub-problems, solve the sub-problems, and combine the sub-solutions to have a solution of the initial problem. So this is called divide and conquer. Divide, conquer, and then again combine. So divide and conquer approach. Okay. So in this manner, software can be developed. You know, in a company to develop a particular software, several employees, several programmers, several designers are working parallelly. So they will just do their own work, and at the end, everything will be compiled together and will be tested. We call that as integration testing. Okay, so all the modules will be compiled together. I mean, it will be integrated. Integration testing. So test before the test whether the individual modules are working fine before integrating all these into a single one, and then again you combine all of this into a single module, and then again you test collectively whether that is working correctly or not. Okay, so these are the things that happens. So divide the work, solve the problems separately, and from one file, one particular program where the main exists for your case, because everything starts from main, execution starts from main only. Okay, that's why right now you are writing main also. Okay, main is also a function, user defined function. So the initiation starts from main. So the file which contains main, everything will be included, has include some file name, has include another file name that your team members have written. You just include all the files into the file of main and then go for the solution. So this is called implementation of software. Okay, so software is a set of programs. That means there may be a single program, there may be more than one programs related with each other, associated programs. Okay, so a software is a set of programs that performs a specific task. Okay, that specific task may be for your own company, maybe for developing a particular game, maybe to run the computer system in an organized manner. Okay, what I am trying to say. So you have one medical shop, you go to some vendor, they will prepare your software company, they will prepare your software for your medical shop. But I don't require that one, and that is not required to run my computer. That is essential, no? That is not essential. Okay, that is the application specific development. We call this kind of software as application software. Okay, so another portion, so another half, the system software, that is very important. Okay, suppose you buy a computer from market. Now you tell me, is it possible to run a computer without installing operating system? No, that is not possible. What you buy from market, you buy the hardware from the market. Okay, so will the hardware will communicate with you directly? No, that is not possible. So you have to install some software that will create a bridge between the hardware and the user. So that is the operating system. Okay, so you place your commands to the operating system or system software that interacts directly with the hardware to execute your, to successfully complete your task. You want to create a folder. How you do that? You write a command. Either you write a command or click on the desktop or in some other folders, and then you just prepare a new folder and do that. So that what you are doing, you are giving commands to the operating system. Whatever may be the operating system, it may be Ubuntu, it may be Windows, it may be any other operating system. You are using your handheld, mobile. So the Android operating system is there. Otherwise, how you communicate with the hardware device is not possible. This interface between user and the computer hardware, that is called operating system. So that operating system that internally directly interacts with the hardware is called a system software. Similarly, there are other kinds of system software that are required for the proper maintenance of the systems, computer systems. So one particular software that is managing the other software. So you will not be able to install your medical software into your computer unless and until you install the operating system there. So the operating system is a software that is helping you to handle the other software. Okay, so these are the essential softwares that are very much required. Okay, they have the capability to directly interact with the hardware. So similarly, the compiler is a system software that translates the program written by you in high-level languages. Software that translates the program written by you in a high-level language to its corresponding machine-level language. Okay, so how computer will understand what you are writing as a program in a .c file? You are writing printed something and these kind of things. So how computer will understand? So it's a digital device, So everything will be treated as zeros and ones. So the program that is written in some other code language using, that is nearest to the computer, that is called machine level language. There everything will be translated into bits, and that will be, say for example, you want to say perform addition, you write x equals to y plus z. So for plus there will be, so that is an instruction, plus is an instruction. For that instruction there will be a string of zeros and ones. Okay, otherwise how computer will know? So ultimately what will happen, your plus will be converted to some strings of zeros and ones. That zeros and ones will be represented by some voltage pulses, plus 5, plus minus 5 voltages, or 0 volt and 12 volt, whatever it may be. But that is required. So conversion from one representation to another representation, that is required. From high level language to machine level language, that is required. And that will be completed. That will be done by the compiler. So compiler is a language translator that translates the program written by you, the source program .c file, your writing level, into its corresponding machine level version, and that is the task of the compiler. Okay, so if you compile, so you see after compiling, cc space, in the previous class I explained that cc space some other cc space some C program names. So what will happen? If you compile, a file will be populated with your compiled version. Okay, then what you do? You run the program. Okay, so will you be able to run the program /abc.c? No, that will not work. You have to write cc space abc.c, that will be compiled, and that compiled version will automatically be stored in a.out. Now you just run using /a.out. That is runnable. Okay, /a.out. So how you just get this one? Using cc. Using what? Using compiler. There are several kinds of such compilers available in the market. Right now I am just telling you ANSYS, it may be Boldland C, it may be Turbo C. Different kinds of C compilers are available in the market. So don't be confused with the size of the variables that I had started at the beginning of my classes. That in Anikar you will find they have written the size of the integer is 2 bytes. In another book you will find size of the integer is 4 bytes. So don't be confused. Okay, better you write a program where you write size of function. Use the function size of. Say for example, I can show you. Okay, I can show you. In between, you give your attendance here in the chat box. Okay, I am writing attend, ATTEND, and now you start giving your attendance in the chat box. That will be recorded there. Okay, so Minal is there. So Minal, you have been assigned in another lab. I just observed that. You have been assigned.
Also, I did not get any information about.
Okay, so that
only the introduction to completing this lab I know I have assigned.
Okay, in that case, very good. Okay, so actually I also want that you just stay with me. So that's why I'm asking you. So I want to be with you actually. So maybe I will just see you in some of the classes. For example, today if you like to just do your research work, you can do that. Okay, so it is not necessary that you be present today because I am here today. Okay, I will just handle the total class. If required, if you like, then you can concentrate in writing that paper. Okay, that I have assigned to you, and that is possible only if you be with me. I can just make you free, and you just go because I am handling the students right now, and I know that in the beginning some of the classes so I will be able to handle. So later on, when the complex programs I will start giving, then you okay. In that case, whatever you like, you may say or you if you like to just okay. That depends on you. Okay, okay. Now you just give your attendance to this in the chat box. I am just sharing my screen. And already in the Google Classroom, I mentioned one online compiler, so that you may use that one. Okay. So whatever compiler you like to use, you can do. I don't have any problem. I will check the program. Okay. And just me checking the programs, I will be able to understand what is happening. Okay. I'm telling you. So I know if you write a program, then I will be able to check whether it will run or not. Okay. So whatever compiler you like, you can use, but the thing is when you submit your I mean, report PDF document, so you have to give one screenshot of the output. Okay, so you see this one is one online compiler. So I am just showing you. Harris taking classes. Okay, so one student asked the question: what is the difference between compiler and interpreters? Both of them are language translator, system software. Okay, but some basic differences are there. For example, if you compile a program using a compiler, what happens? The entire program will be compiled
Sir,
at a time. So the entire program will be compiled, and yes,
you
any
are,
question?
yes, sir, you are not audible properly, sir.
Okay, I'm not audible. Okay, let me check. Let me check right now.
Check your connection.
Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible.
Okay,
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, yes, sir, yes. Check your connection, Dashrath.
okay, maybe it may be from
Sir,
my end.
you're
Okay,
audible.
but audible, no? Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
So be free enough with me. Okay. So whenever you think something is not something going in the wrong direction, you direct me. Okay. Because I believe from my heart that students are the teacher of the teachers. Whatever I have learned, starting from my this teaching life, I learned many things from my students. Okay. Okay, the students' questions, maybe I will fail to give answer of one of your questions. Okay, what is the problem? Maybe I do not know that. I will learn from you. Okay, so, so that is so you will also understand if you just be in academics and be like to be a teacher. So then you will also realize that you will actually learn when you deliver something to some other person. Okay, so you learn that. Okay, so don't underestimate the students. Students are the main. I mean main pillar of the any institution. Okay, so they are at the top of the hierarchy. Even I am telling you, okay, for will not tell you, I have to mention one. Okay, okay, so students are there at the top of the hierarchy. They have the higher priority in every cases. Okay, okay, so yeah, you see, I'm telling that. Okay, sometimes it happens. So what I was telling, anyone from you?
Sir, online compiler.
Online compiler. Okay, so that online compiler that is here. Now you see, in different compilers, they will take different styles. Okay, I'm just telling you. So this is you see, this is one hash include stdio.in. That's fine. So stdio.in is the header file. So the Shadi will explain in your theoretical classes that stdio.h contains some prototype of the functions, library functions. For example, printf hello world, what it is doing. It's a function using. So this is within this white parenthesis in green color. That is actually That is actually the argument. We call this as argument. So function name and argument. So this argument is actually called the actual argument. Actual argument. Okay. So let us know what is formal argument. So this is the actual argument. So printf will print the actual argument onto the terminal. Okay. Okay. And again, you see, you are writing a function, user-defined function main that returns from value 0. You see, 0, what is the data type of 0? That is integer. You see, the int main. So int has the capability, if some other function calls main, then what will be the value returned by main? Main will return an integer value. And what is that integer value? That is 0. That is 0. Okay, in this ground, I am telling you one very interesting point. So printf is a function, you know, it prints something. Now, in campus interview, maybe from the interview board, some question will come to you. What is the return type of printf? So you will be in great trouble. Because you know the printf every time prints something onto the terminal. So what printf returns? Okay. So you will be in problem. Answer is printf returns an integer value. So where those who have developed the libraries, they have written the function printf in a similar manner like you are writing int main. They have written something int printf within some parentheses. They have written the print also has a body. Okay, what I'm trying to say, printf also has a body like main. So main contains two instructions here, printf and return. Similarly, printf also has a body. Okay, so that is already defined. You don't need to write that because that is already defined and it's pre-compiled. Okay, so I'm telling you that. So they will ask you what is the return type of printf. So you'll be in problem. Okay, so printf returns actually integer value, like main is returning here int. Okay, you see return 0. So what is the return type of main? That is integer, so that matches. Printf return int. How you check that? Let us check that. Okay, let us check that. How? I'm telling you, it returns integer value. Maybe in this compiler it is different. I do not know. I have not used this compiler earlier, for example. Okay, so I am using my old concepts in X. So I am using my old concept that printf returns an integer value. Okay, so I probably you know what is printf scanner to Sarah's second classes. That's why, assuming that you have some basic knowledge, I am starting like this. Okay, so actually my task is to give you some assignment. You will perform the assignment, you will submit it. I will check whether the assignments are correct or not. In between, if you have some problem, I will just time to time give you some input, but still, it is at the beginning of your semester, and I know that some of your friends are coming from some of the boards where they have not, they were not taught anything about this programming language. So if I jump, give long jump from one point to another point, there will be a problem. So be patient. I mean, you just keep your patience for the sake of your friends. I mean, for the benefit of your friends. So let us write x equal to printf. So okay, printf. So let us take what value. What is the value of x returned by printf? Okay, let us check what is the value returned by printf that is stored in x. Okay, so printf. So how I print the value of x? You know. I should write x equals to %d. Okay, %d means for integer. So what should I write? I should write x here because x is an integer variable. You see, x is an integer variable. I have declared it as x is integer variable. Printf is returning something. I am assuming that printf. I have studied it few days ago. Okay, let us check. Okay, I am checking that x equals to printf hello world, but I do not know what will be the value of x. Suppose. Let us check what value x will print. So printf x equals to %dx. So that will print the value of x here. Okay, very simple. So let us check. Now let us check. Let me. What is happening here? This is the problem. Okay, I'm just running this. Let us check. Okay, hello world equals to 11. Hello world x equals to 11. Okay, this first hello world has printed hello world, and then x side by side x that is equal to 11. Why it is 11? No, that is the. Now it is clear that. No, that is not a timeless value. So I'm telling you, the first I have proved that x is an integer value because x is 11. Okay, that is correct. My assumption, my reading the previous classes, I did just in past that was correct. X is an integer because x equals to 11. Fine. Now let us count how many characters are there in there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that means so how many characters I will write there within this printed, that is going to be the value of value returned by printf. So printf is returning some value depending on the number of characters within the double quotes that we are supplying as argument of printf. Okay. Okay, let us check. Another thing. So backslash n, that is a new line character, you know. So will that be treated as two characters? Okay, let us check. Or a single character. I am telling you, backslash n is a new line character. Is a new line character. That means it must be counted as one. So, okay, let us check how many backslash n represents how many characters. Backslash 1, n2, or it's collectively a single character. Okay, let us check. In this way, you will be able to know everything. Okay, you see, it is showing 12. That means backslash n collectively represents a single character, that is a new line character. That means I am correct. It's a single character. It's a single character, one character. So we call this backslash n. Backslash, yes.
Sir, from where the value 12 comes, sir? Where you put 12 in the program?
Okay. So yes, that is I am explaining. You see, you count the number of characters within this printf, within parentheses. HELLO. How many characters? 5.
5.
Space 6. WORLD. How many characters? 5. So in a total 11 characters.
11.
11 characters. And backslash n will be considered as a single character. Okay. So there are 12 characters within the parentheses, within the double quotes that appears as an argument of printf. Okay, so that is x equals to 12. Okay, so I have printed the value of x here. So x is so printf is printf. What printf is doing? Printf is printing some value. So that is very clear. Hello world, that is printed. A new line character that has been printed. Okay. What printf is doing? Printf is printing something as well as it is returning some value to the calling function. Which is the calling function here? Main is the calling function. Main is calling the printf. So main is the calling function and printf is the called function. So called function is returning some value to the calling function. So if I throw some ball to you, how you just hold that? You will use your hand to just hold that ball. I am throwing one ball to you, so you will extend your hands to hold that ball. Okay. So which will hold that value that printf is returning to main. So I have used x for that. So x is holding the ball returned by holding the value that is an integer value. Printf is printing something, doing its work as well as at the end returning some value to the calling function. This is the calling function here main. So called function printf is throwing some value, returning some value to the calling function, and calling function is using his hand x to hold that particular ball, that value integer value, and that is 12 here. Okay, depending on the number of characters in this parenthesis. Okay, that's very simple. So this is the way how you can check yourself. This is the very interesting thing. So C programming language is very interesting. You will be able to learn everything yourself. You just got that point. Okay. Now I was telling you what is the size of an integer? I don't know. X is an integer here that is holding the value 12. So what is the size of integer?
Right.
I mean what So you are saying 2 bytes, 2
4
bytes
bytes.
or 4 bytes. Okay,
4.
that is again. I'm trying to just trying to make you free from these concepts. You must not say like this, 4 or 2 or like this. You will say it depends on the type of the compiler, which compiler you are using. That is very important, and depending on the compiler, the value will be determined. For example, if you use ANSYS, the integer will be 4 bytes. If you use Turbo C, the integer will be of 2 bytes, like this. So that is the answer that they expect from you in the interview mode. Okay, so this is one. You note down. This is one answer that they can ask you in the interview mode. Okay, what value printf return? Very simple. You will say x. You will say integer, and how the value of x will be determined? Will be determined by the number of characters within the double quotes that appears in the as an argument of printf. Okay. Now in the second phase, that confusion will be removed. So let us check how we determine the size of an integer or float or character. Okay. Again, say I am declaring size. You are saying 4 bytes. You are saying 2 bytes. That means that is a whole number. How
Sir,
many bytes will be of? Yes, yes.
sir, when you are writing x equal to printf hello world backslash n, it is printing hello world. Then it should have left a line.
Okay, okay. So within the if you can write that. Okay, within the if you can write that. But in that case, you just check it. There they have used double equal relational operator. Okay, I will come to that point when I just tell you about that relational operators and if else. When I explain if else, everything will be discussed. Okay, and what you are asking, that is again a question of campus interview. Okay, I will come to that point. But right now you listen. Okay, okay, you listen. Okay, so what I am trying to say, I declare one x comma y. So two integer variables I have declared. How I have declared? I have used a delimiter x, separator x. I mean, comma between two variables, two integer variables. You see comma, and you see the semicolon is at the end. So each and every instruction will be terminated by a semicolon. You see semicolon, 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 semicolon. But in some cases, that is a common point of mistake. When you study it, I where you must not use semicolon. Okay, okay. So I will just right now. You just remember this semicolon, semicolon. So how many instructions are there right now? These are the instructions. Okay, so we call these as tokens. Int is a token, X is a token, Y is a token. Compiler will tokenize these things. Okay, so these are things that you will study in your seventh semester, your fifth semester. The compiler design is there in case of computer science students, and in case of IT students, that may be in some other. How to design a compiler? Okay, your compiler. Right now, you are using a compiler, and then after many classes, you have to design a compiler. Okay, so you just attend these classes. So at the end, maybe you will be interested in computer science, and you will try to change your stream from some other stream to computer science or in IT. I know that it happens every year. Okay, so that's why I think it's a very interesting subject. Very interesting subject, and during this pandemic situation, this is the best subject. I can tell you everything. I'm just sharing this program sitting at my home and you are watching. Okay, but how a civil engineering student, electrical engineering student will pass on that? Sitting at home, that machine. So how he will get that machines, large machines, variac, oscilloscope, these kinds. How they get it?
Yes,
No,
sir. Home seat engineering.
okay, okay, okay. So we will have to overcome from this situation. I hope that we will very soon we will overcome from this because right now in every home, every residence, I am just watching COVID affected, and it's like so asymptomatic person, candidate person, persons are there most of the cases. So the hard immunity will be develop very soon. I think so, and I like you just join the institute. You just play game in our institute grounds. So all these things are just the grasses are long grasses are there. Lack of maintenance. When you come, everything will be in its proper form. Because you will enjoy our institute. So river Ganges, Hooghly, that is just flowing by our, and plenty of greenery, natural beauty, the new birds, and just beside our campus, botanical garden. So you can go there in the evening. You will enjoy this 4 years to come here. Okay, now you see how we check the size of an integer. Okay, I am writing y equals to Sij. Maybe that function will not work here, but it will work in some other compiler. Surely it will work. But let me check size of. Okay, it will work. You see the color. Okay, it is one advantage here in this online compiler. Size of. I mean size of is another library function that help you to know the exact size of a particular data type. So let us write here x.
Sir,
I want to check. Yes, yes.
sir, how can we know what compiler are we using?
So you use this compiler that I am using right now, this online compiler, online GCP that you can use. I don't have any problem. So we go to the company, they will just give a compiler to you, and you have to work with that one. Okay. So maybe in some cases, some changes, some nominal changes you have to incorporate. For example, maybe size of function is not available in the equivalent function must be there. Okay, so you have to know that. You have to know that. Okay.
Okay.
Then, like that, you don't need to think. So right now I can tell you, I can suggest you that you use UNCC because
Okay, sir.
everything in our institute, in every lab, they follow UNCC that you use Ubuntu and install there. GCC. Okay, I suggest you, but in case you can use this one. Okay, this is very good. GDB. You can. Okay, semicolon. So what is the meaning of this? I am trying to find out. The size of an integer. So x is an integer. I can write here x, or if you want, you can write directly as int. So you want to find out the size of the integer. So in that case, I need to print that. Okay, I need to print that size of integer. Okay. So okay, I'll write it here and here. So I will write the value of x, and I am telling you the size is the number of bytes, that means it's again an integer. So the value of y, how I print? I will write y equals to some integer that is represented by %d, and equivalent which value will be printed there in place of second %d, that is y. Okay, and what is y? Y is the size of some integer. Now let us check what happens. Okay, let us check what happens in this compiler. See, it's 4. Okay, that means in this particular online GDB compiler, the size of an integer is 4 bytes. Okay, now let us change it to float. Let us change. Okay, float. FLO, very interesting. You see. So why you study books for these things? You just try with the compiler. You see, it's again 4. Okay, so you may think that no. Must be of higher size than integer because float not in this particular case.
Sir, you are not audible properly.
Okay, so you see, so what is happening? So okay, maybe now you can see, you can listen to me. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
now you are.
Okay, maybe due to some. Okay, I'm just trying to let me use another device. Okay, I will. So this is the problem of online mode. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sometime
I know that.
the word is
I know that.
starting.
That is, I know that. But okay. Okay. Now, so as soon as you just find this kind of problem, you are to intimate me because How can I know what is happening on the other side? Okay, now I think I am audible. Huh? Okay, you just confirm me now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You
Okay,
are.
okay, now you see. I am using say care, care. What happens? Let us check. Yes, that is one byte. So the size of character is 1 byte in this particular compiler, and it is in all compilers. I am telling you, size of character is 1 byte. Now let us take double BOU, BLE, double. What happens? Let us take. These are very important because you need to know all these things. Okay, it's 8 bytes. So what is the meaning of that? That means the double is like float. It has some decimal points, but its size is 8 bytes. Double of that float. Okay, let us check. So there exists some variable data type double that is double in size of a floating point float variable. Okay, so there must be some equivalent in int also. So let us check long int. Let us check what happens. Long int. Is there any data type long int? Okay, let us check. Yes, again long int is there. It is 8. Okay, that means in case of integer values, if you want to use a larger value, so you have to use long index, long int one. Okay, so as simple as this. Okay, long int. In this way, you just go on studying the different data types. Okay, now let us write x instead of int. I am writing x. What happens? Yes, again it is working. X is one integer and size of returning the value of the data type of age. It is 4. This is the way how you know what is the size of. So this is called compiler specific thing. Okay, so you use size of to know the exact. Now what I was telling at the
Hello,
beginning.
sir.
Yes. Again.
Hello.
Yes. So am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can tell you that yes, I have the connection is in full strength. It is showing 4G. I mean, it's very. So anyone just confirm me that what is happening? Are you getting
Yes,
zero?
sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Audible. Okay. So in that case, maybe the problem is from your end. Okay. Now we see. So
Sir, we
what
can't
I
hear
need
you.
to. Okay. So then, what can I do? Now, other students, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is easy. Easy with low network conditions. Okay. I am continuing. So this is your problem. I cannot solve that. Okay. So now, what I was saying, the compiler and interpreter. So compiler compiles the entire program at a time. It gives you the after compilation, how many errors are there, how many warnings are there, that will be printed after compilation. Fine?
Sir, you're not
At
audible.
a time. At a time. Not audible. Then okay, you wait, I will change another device. Another headphone I will use. You wait. Mm, headphone.
Sir, we can't hear you.
Okay. Wait. I'm saying.
Now you are audible, sir. Proper.
Yeah, I'll change my headphone. Maybe do that. I'll disconnect it. Bluetooth headphone. Disconnect. Now am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now I
sir.
think
Now it's proper.
now I think it's better.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now let us start once again. A very interesting subject. See, and its beauty is that the mass campus interview, every company, from they may just sit for the CTS, TCS, Infosys, these kind of companies, and all of them are well equipped with that the idea of C programming language, and they may just change their station from that to the software domain. Okay, so the one provision is there for all the students. So if they like, okay. So now what happens in case of interpreter? Interpreter interprets, I mean, compiler compiles at a time, interpreter interprets line by line. So it interprets a line, give you a successful message or some error, some warning. So you will get it instantly. Okay. And you have the option to correct it. You just make it correct and then again interpret. So line by line, line by line. But in case of compiler, at a time, everything, all the errors, warnings will be thrown to you in your console at a time. So you have to just fix these errors and these kind of things once again, and again you have to just compile. So this is the process. So in that case, so this is the difference. This is the difference. So line by line and at a time, and some other differences are there that will be taught in your theoretical classes. If your SAT thinks it is required for you. Okay. So now this is the simple program. In this manner, we will start writing some. What I am just saying, you see, int xy. What is the type of that instruction? That is a declarative instruction. You have declared x and y as integers, so it's a declarative instruction. What is the type of this instruction? Printf, this one. This printf instruction, that is one output instruction. Okay. Say I write say x equals to y plus z. That is an arithmetic instruction. So there are several kind of instructions available in the compilers. Okay. Now you see all the instructions that you have written, that will be executed one by one, line by line in sequence. So there is no such control statements like loop or if else there. So this program entirely following the sequential construct. Okay, sequential manner. So all the instructions will be compiled one by one and will be executed in the same manner, one by one, line by line. So sequential control structure. If you use if else, that will be called as decision making sequence. This one, and then if else, that is decision making, or we call that as selection. So depending on the condition within the if block, which block will be executed, that will be determined. So sequence, then selection, then iteration, or sometimes we call it as iteration or loop. Say for example, you use a while loop, that means the same set of instructions, the body of the loop will be executed again and again, depending on the control statement, depending on some condition. These kind of instructions are called loop or iterative instructions. So a programming language that use only sequence like this, mixing of sequence and selection, or mixing of sequence, selection, iteration, or mixing of any two of these two, like any permutation combination, that will give birth of a program, and generally we call this kind of programming language as structured programming language. Structured, structured, structured. Okay, structured programming language. So if someone asks you what is structured programming language, you just tell that the programming language that follows the sequence, selection or iteration or a combination of this kind of control constructs are called structured programming language. And another thing, sometimes we call this kind of C as procedural language. Okay, procedural language. So why procedural language? The main is the procedure, you see. So main is a procedure because it's a module. Similarly, there exists a module for printf, there exists another module for size of, there exists another. So many modules are there. So it's a collective, a combination of several modules like this in the form. Say main is a module that is calling another module, that printf may call another module like this. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, let me check. Maybe the power cutoff is in our. Okay, let me check. I am using inverter and the battery is down. Okay, maybe I will be out after 1 or 2 minutes. Then you have to stay in this classroom. I will return back. So within 5 to 6 minutes again it recovers. Then I will join with you. Okay, you don't leave. If sometimes maybe so I will be out of this class due to power cut up or some other reason, but you don't leave. Okay, you will stay there, and after some time, okay, in that case, you share the phone number of your seer. I mean, your. Okay, now who is your class representative? Do you have any class representative?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sure.
sir.
Yes, sir. She is our class representative.
So,
Shreyas and Ankit.
okay, Seo. So, Seo, will you share your mobile number to me by mobile? So, in which class are you ready to share, or privately you will share? So,
Yes, sir, I will show you.
okay. So, in that case, you just write in the chat box your mobile number. I will copy it and keep it with me.
Okay, sir.
In any case, in any information.
Okay, sir.
Uh-huh. And the classroom is there. I can share that everything, but in case of some emergency, I can. So you write your mobile number in there if you don't have any problem to write. Okay.
Yes, sir, I'll share it.
Okay, I'll copy it. Yes, yes. This is Ali. Someone is. Okay. What is happening? Some WhatsApp. Like some
TV,
WhatsApp.
7 please mute your microphone.
Hmm. Someone is using WhatsApp and WhatsApp communication is with style. 97250 Okay, now you see. It's fine. It's fine. Now you see. Let us. I want to show one example how to take input from keyboard. Okay, how to take input from keyboard. Okay, I declare say integer x, comma y, comma z. Okay, the three integers I have used. Now I intimate the user of this program. You are writing this program. What does it mean? You are writing it for others. Okay, so you are the developer. You are writing for others. So who will use that program? Okay, who will
So
use
you are
that?
not sharing your screen.
Okay. Let me share. Because everything. Now you see. Okay, now you see. So I have declared three integer variables x, y, z. Okay. Now you are writing the program for someone will use your program. So it must be written in such a manner. It will be interactive in nature. Interactive. That means programmers will be guided by. Users will be guided by the program itself. I mean, how they enter the inputs, what to do after one thing. So they are to be instructed very clearly. The users must be instructed very clearly what steps they will follow to run this program properly. So it's your duty to inform the users, those who will run the program, in a proper way what they should do in a particular moment of time. Okay, so that is one of the objectives. So you just your program needs some inputs from the user. So what you do, you have to inform the user that enter two values. So how you inform the users? You write printf printf. You write printf printf, then followed by what should you write? Enter to integers, integers. Okay, enter two integer values. So you write like this. So I am writing like this. Okay, like this. Enter two integers, and then what will happen when the program will run? This will be printed onto the screen, and the user will try to enter two integers. So you have to accept these values entered by user into some variables, say x and y. So scanf, you accept these two values entered by users into two other variables that are x and y. So what is the data type of x and y? Integers, %d. So %d, both are %d. Okay, two integer values. And how you accept these values? You write %x, %y. Okay, I am explaining a little bit why I am giving ampersand before x. Okay, so it is not in our hand. We cannot change that. I mean, different definitions of the compilers. So how they have written, we have to follow that. Their syntax, their grammar. So they have written scanf in C compiler in such a way that you have to give ampersand before x, ampersand before y, Why? The question is why they are written in such a manner that whatever you will enter to keyboard, that will be stored in some particular memory location. That is very clear. It will be stored in, RAM, random access memory. Sally is taking class on these basic theories, the primary memory, secondary memory. I mean, you will be intimated everything in your theory classes. So basically, there are two kinds of memories that I will just mention time to time. One is primary memory, or in your case, that is random access memory, RAM. Actually, RAM is one volatile memory, so that works during the working of the computer. Currently working on data and instruction will be stored in RAM, random access memory. So that is purely a volatile memory. If you shut down your machine in case of any power cutoff, what happens generally? If you shut down your machine, so what will happen? So will the value of x that is stored in x right now will be there as it is in the RAM? No. Everything will be erased from that volatile memory RAM. Everything will be erased. Otherwise, you will not be able to accommodate all these things because the size of RAM is small compared to the hard disk that you use, the secondary memory that is permanent in nature. And the size is small because the cost is also higher. The cost is also very higher compared to the secondary memory. So in secondary memory, where you save there, will save there in permanent nature in the secondary memory. In your computer, you call that as hard disk. So that is permanent in nature, but in case of RAM, random access memory, that is volatile in nature, but faster than the secondary memory, and random access memory can directly interact with the central processing unit, that is CPU. CPU is the brain of your computer, which consists of two different modules. One is content, another is arithmetic logic unit. So that will be covered in your theoretical classes. So what I am trying to say, this ampersand x means address of x. Listen very carefully. What is this ampersand? That is address of operator. Address of x. What is the meaning of that? X is a variable that will occupy some space in random access memory, and you know that in this particular compiler, that is 4 bytes. So 4 bytes is required to store the value of some integer. So what is the name of that particular memory location? The name of that particular memory location is x. The name of that location is x. But the address of that location is ampersand x. The name of your residence is Shanti Villa, for example. That is the name, but address of that your home is 32 by 1, say Chedla Sambos Road, Kolkata 27, for example. E46 Chedla Sambos Road, Kolkata 27, for example. So address of your residence is different than the name of your home. Say for example, it's Nobonir, but the address is 32 by 1 Chedla Sambos Road, Kolkata 827, for example. Okay, so the question is which is important to others. I mean, whatever you enter through keyboard, that will be that value will be stored in some particular memory location. But how that value will be taken there at this particular location? With the help of the address. You know how you reach to your friend's house with the help of the address of your friend's residence. So that is the address of X. So each and every memory location has some address. Each and every memory location has some address, and that is some unsigned value. Unsigned, no plus minus. So have you ever heard that minus 3 by A, I mean, say Bhawanipur, Kolkata, say 28. Have you heard of that? Minus 20. Have you heard of it? No, it's it's always positive. So why you just use extra amount of space to store the minus sign? So that is not required. So why we use? So because okay, so go on, it will go on increasing, you will get the, if you just make it minus 20 to 39, then how many, what will be the range? Minus 20 to 39, it will be a range of 40. Okay, so better you make it 0 to 40, that is the answer. Okay, 0 to 40. So things are like this. So what I am trying to say, the ampersand x is the address of x. Address of x, so scanf, how it works, it accepts the value entered by you through keyboard, it accepts it and stores that value in that particular memory location where the name of the location is x and address is ampersand x. So similarly, so these are the things. So what happens here? If you run the program, first it will be printed, enter two integers, the users will enter two integer values, then what will happen? The scanner will accept these values entered by the keyboard, will accept and will store these to the in position of x and y. Now let us perform another operation, say z equals to x plus y semicolon. So that is an arithmetic instruction. Now let us bring the sum. Okay, let us bring the sum. Okay, let us do it. So I am writing, say sum equals to sum equals to, what should I write? Some integer value percent d, and what's the value of that sum? The value is right now stored in z. So the value of x is, value of sum is percent d, and how percent d will be printed? And the percent d, the value of z will be replaced by, percent d will be replaced by the value of z. Now let us do it. Let us see whether our program is working or not. Okay, enter two integer values. So let us first check 7 space 4. I am giving space in between. Will it work? Let me check. Okay, it is working. It is working. So space, by giving space in between two variables that we have used in the scanner, space is allowed to accept two different variables. Now let us check whether this compiler accepts like this. Say 7 no, I will not give space. Okay, let me run the once again. Okay, let us run once again. You see, enter say 7, then enter, not space, enter. I have given, then 5. Will it work? Yes, it is working. That means both space and enter, that you can use to separate two different integer values, two different inputs in this particular compiler. And I know that in your Turbo C that will also work. I know that in ANSYS that will also work, and you know which will work in your own compiler selected by you. Okay, so you check it, you check it. As I am taking like this, so you take it and you know, you learn it yourself. That is called unsupervised learning. Okay, that is no teacher will be with you. That is called unsupervised learning. And if some teacher teaches you, that is called supervised learning. And some critic is teaching you, so he will just do criticism. Okay, what you are doing, that is 50% correct. So I am telling you, no, you just do like this. You just make this word like this, you write this like this, you give a semicolon like this. So I am your teacher, I am teaching you in this style, and maybe sometime I will be in reinforcement learning tool like this. So I will just tell you, no?
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is that semicolons necessary? What does it mean?
Semicolon is the end of the instruction. Okay, that is necessary because that is in the syntax of this, but I mean, that is the syntax, okay, the grammar. So if you write a sentence, he is a good boy, without any full stop, if you write, I know him very well, will it be a correct sentence? No,
No.
that is the grammar of that particular, that is the grammar. Giving period in between two sentences, that is grammar. And how you know that? You have to know that by reading. Okay, no other option. So knowing the grammar, so that is purely you have to read that. Okay, no other option. No other option. So each and every instruction will be terminated by a semicolon. Okay, you see semicolon, declarative instruction, output instruction, input instruction. Scanf is one input instruction. Okay, you see semicolon and this kind of thing. Similarly, you can accept floating point values. Now, I just want to check whether this gets it works here or not. Okay, I am declaring CHAR care, say for example A. So what is A? A is a character variable. You see, you mind it. A is a character variable, X is a integer variable, Y is an integer variable. What is the meaning of that? Variable can hold, it's like a container. So a container can hold some value of that particular type. I mean the X is an integer variable that can hold an integer value. Character A here is integer variable that can hold a particular value. Okay. For example, I am writing directly here. You can directly write here x equals to 5 also. Okay, that you can do that. Then every time the value of x will be 5 in that particular case. And later on, if you change the value, I am just telling. Say after this line, you change the value of, you accept two values, and again you change the value of x to say 12. Now let us take what happens. Semicolon. This is an assignment statement. I am running the program. You check what happens. So this is one. I must just remove this confusion from your mind. That is required. Okay, I am entering two values. Say 1 and 2. Okay, then what should you will think? Okay, I have entered 1 and 2. So Z must be 3. Let us check what happens. Okay, no, it is 14. Why it is 14? Because you have changed the value of x once again here with the value 12. Okay, so whatever the last value you will assign in that x, that will be in action. Okay, so this is the thing. So I am making it a comment, that means it will not be in action if I give two double slashes. This is called single line comment. So this line will not be compiled by the compiler. So this will not be in scenario when you compile it. Now you say, okay, I see 1 and 2. You must know that. Now you see this is giving C, because this is out of your program. This is called single line comment. Comment, comment, comment. Similarly, so you can use multiple line comments. Say I am writing slash star. So multiple line comment starts with slash star. Say I am writing very. The next line I will write a very simple SIMPL, simple. In the next line I will write C program PROGRAM. Okay, one is calling me in the doctor. হ্যাঁ ম্যাডাম, হ্যাঁ বলছি আমি একটু ক্লাস নিচ্ছি। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ না ঠিক আছে, আমি আমি দেখেছি, আমি একটু ক্লাস নিচ্ছি আসলে, আজকে আমার পুরো ক্লাস ভর্তি 7 দিন আর কি। আমি ওই ছেলেদেরকে পড়াচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে না? হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, আমি আমি দেখছি, আমি কথা বলেছি আকাশের সাথে, আমি দেখছি একটু পরে আমার 5:30 পর্যন্ত ক্লাস আছে, 5:20, তারপর তাই আমি আমি দেখে উঠতে পারিনি, মানে আমার ক্লাস ছিল, আমি একবার মেলটা দেখলাম, আমি পুরোটা পড়ে উঠতে পারিনি আর কি। হ্যাঁ আমি আচ্ছা হুম 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 কেন এমন করতে দেখছি, আমি আমি দেখছি, আমি তো বললাম, এত করে বললাম, তাতেও কেন ওরা এ করছে এরকম ভাবে। আমি আমি আজকে পুরোটা দেখে উঠতে পারিনি, মানে আমি ক্লাস ছিল সকালে, আমার দুটো ক্লাস ছিল, এখন আমার ওই ল্যাব চলছে। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ওইখানে অনেকটা ব্যস্ত ছিলাম কালকে, সেই জন্য আর কি। কি বলবো আর কি এখন। না না না, তার হুম 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 হুম। হ্যাঁ না ওটা উঠে যাবে ওই হ্যাঁ ওইটার জন্য ওই বাইলটাকে আসলে কনফার্ম করা যাচ্ছে না, ওই কালকে অনেকে আপত্তি করছে, ওইটা ঠিক হয়ে গেলেই আবার ওই বাইলটা হয়ে গেলেই হ্যাঁ সেইগুলো চেঞ্জ চেঞ্জ হুম 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 হ্যাঁ ওটাই আমি আকাশকে কালকে বলেছি যে হ্যাঁ না ওটা এক্সটেন্ড করার অপশনও আছে, সেটা এক্ষুনি বললে হবে না, মানে ওই যারা বাইরে কাজ করছে না ওদেরকে বলা যাবে না, এক্সটেন্ড করার অপশনও আছে ওখানে, উইথ ডিফারেন্ট গ্রাউন্ডস দ্যাট ক্যান বি এক্সটেন্ডেড। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হুম। হ্যাঁ 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 হুম 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 আচ্ছা ওই ওনার রিপোর্টটা আগে একটু দেখে নিই আমরা, ওই মাধববাবু কোভিড পজিটিভ কিনা, ওনার আজকের রিপোর্টটা দেবে আমাকে তাই বলেছে, ঠিক আছে না? তা রিপোর্টটা দেখে নিয়ে তারপরে ঢোকা ঢুকতে দেওয়া হবে আর কি, সেই রকম আর কি, ঠিক আছে না, তাই তো নাকি? হ্যাঁ 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 আচ্ছা উনি তো আজকের মধ্যে বলবেন বললেন, যে কি কতদিনের মধ্যে করবেন, আপনি কিছু বলেছেন, বলেননি তো এখনো মনে হয়, বলেন। আমি আমি কথা বলছি, হ্যাঁ আমি সন্ধ্যের দিকে কথা বলছি। আচ্ছা 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 হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ আমি 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 বলছি। হ্যাঁ 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 আচ্ছা আচ্ছা হুম 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 আচ্ছা ম্যাডাম আমি ওই ক্লাসে আছি, ছেলেদেরকে একটু থামিয়ে রেখেছি, ওই কথা বলতে, আমি অনলাইন ক্লাস, ঠিক আছে না, আমি পরে পরে হ্যাঁ 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 আপনি লিখুন না, আপনি লিখুন, আমি দেখে নিই পরে, ঠিক আছে না? আমি দেখছি, আমি ক্লাস নিয়ে আমার ওই তারপরে দেখে নিচ্ছি আমি। অন্তরা গ্রুপে লিখবেন? আহ, হুম অন্তরা গ্রুপে দিলে দিতে পারেন, সেটা কিছু ব্যাপার নয়, তাহলে আহ, সেটাই আর কি, দেখুন একটু ভেবে। হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা তাহলে মানে দিতে পারেন, কিন্তু মানে সেক্ষেত্রে মানে বলবেন না যে আমি কিছু বলেছি আর কি, ঠিক আছে না, তাহলে আমার পক্ষে সেটা আর কি একটু হ্যাঁ 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 মানে হ্যাঁ না আপনি যেটা দিতে পারেন, দিলে কোনো অসুবিধা, আপনি বলতেই পারেন আপনার সমস্যা, অনেকেই তো বলেছে সমস্যা, আপনি বলে দেখতে পারেন যে কি বললো অ্যাসোসিয়েশন, ঠিক আছে না, এবারে সেটা তো আরোই ভালো, আপনি দেখতে পারেন একবার বলে, কিন্তু মানে আমি যেভাবে দেখছি আমি নিশ্চয়ই দেখবো, কিন্তু মানে আমি বলেছি দিতে এরকম বলবেন না, ঠিক আছে না, তাহলে আমার তো অ্যাসোসিয়েশনে সবাই আছে না, আমি তো মানে হ্যাঁ 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 আপনি দিতে পারেন না দেওয়ার না বলতে পারেন তো কিছু কিছু নেই, আপনি বলতে পারেন নিশ্চয়ই বলতে পারেন, বললে দেখা যাক না কি অন্যরা কি যদি কিছু স্টেপ নেন। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ একবার একবার আপনি জানাতে পারেন, একবার একটু ভালো করে লিখে একটু ধীরে সুস্থে একটু ভালোভাবে লিখে আপনি বলতে পারেন আর কি, তাতে কোনো ক্ষতি কিছু নেই, মানে সবাই বুঝবে যে প্রবলেমের কথা না বলার কি আছে, বলতেই পারেন, না বলার কিছু নেই, ঠিক আছে না, আপনি বলুন, তাতেও আমি আছি আপনার সাথে, আমি দেখবো নিশ্চয়ই দেখবো, আমি বলছি আকাশের সাথে কথা, ঠিক আছে না? হুম 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 ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে হুম 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 hello, okay, sorry, so he's not getting my point, okay, so am I audible?
Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling her repeatedly that I'm in online class. Still, he is. She is. Okay, so you see, this is a multiple line comment. Okay, multiple line comment. You see how the color will change. Okay, you see, you see the difference. You see, now you see. Okay, so this is called multiple line comments. I have written multiple line comments. So this portion will not be considered by the compiler. So compiler will treat this as nothing. Okay, so the compilation will be, I mean, it will just consider these lines only. Again, this line will not be considered. So this is a single line comment. This is a multiple line comment. You see, so no, nothing will change. The same thing will appear. Okay, you see, it is happening. 5, 8, 13. You see, like this. Now, if I just write, instead of writing this, if I write double slash here, then what will happen? You see, this will give some warning. You see, the simple and C program, these are not valid C statements. No semicolon is there. They are not keywords. So this double semicolon occurs for a single line. I mean, we can use if the comment is confined within one line, we use a single line comment. If you want to extend it for multiple lines, the comment for multiple lines, then you have to use slash star and then star slash. Okay, so whatever is bounded within this slash star and star slash will be considered as simple single line comment, multiple line comments. Okay, now the question that will arise, why you use this comment? Okay, sometime we have to use this, we have to use some comments to make the program much more readable. So this is the use of comment to make it much more readable. Suppose you have written 10 programs, so how you will know just by just overlooking the programs, which was for what purpose? So you write the purpose of each and every program using multiple line comments at the beginning of the program. So that will help you to read the program. So this is called making the programs much more readable using comments. So similarly, you see int main, curly braces, two curly braces, they are aligned. You see, in the vertically aligned, and all these instructions are vertically aligned. So what is the meaning of that? That means these instructions are within this block. So you can organize in a proper, I mean, cascaded manner such that you can identify which block is under the control of what. Okay, which block is under what. So that is called indentation. So here, so if I just shift, you see, if I shift this line just here, will it work? Let us check it works or not. Okay, it is working. That means C is a free format language. You just remember this term, free format language. C is a free format language. So will it work? If I give some additional spaces there, will it work? Let us check. Yes, it is working. That means C is a free format language. Okay, C is a free format language. So why we are shifting these lines from here to here, here to there, a block within another, again to make the program much more readability, to increase the readability of the program. So this is called indentation, indentation, indentation. Okay, this is clear to all of you. Now I have used a character variable char a, where I am just trying to assign some character constant using how we assign character constants within single quote. Say I write capital M. Okay, now how to print? How to print? So you print it here using, say, printf, printf. Then for characters, you know, %C, %C. Okay, within quotes, you write comma. Okay, so let us check what happens. Okay, I will give one backslash in here to print A in the next line. So a new line will be printed, then the A will be printed. Let us run this. Some error. Okay, you see some error. Semicolon before return. So you give a semicolon here. Okay, fine. Now you run it once. Very interesting. You don't need to do anything. You just see and listen very carefully. Okay, you see M has been printed in the new line. So new line, then M. So A is a variable that contains a character, we call that as character constant. So how to write character constants? Within double quotes. I mean within single quotes. That is the way of writing. Unlike x equals to 12, you have to write A equals to within single quotes. So this single quotes means it's a character. M is a character constant stored in the character variable A. Okay. Now, can we accept the value of A using scanf? Okay, let us check. We write %C there, %C there. So two integers, and I'm not writing two integers and one character. So I'm not writing that, but ampersand. What should I write? Okay. Now let us check what happens. You have to enter three values right now. Okay. The integer, first integer is 5. The next integer is 6. Now it is not working. Why? Why it's not working? %C, it's not working. You see, sum equals to 11. That means it is accepting these two and %C. So what is the meaning of that? So I have entered enter, that has been accepted by as a character, and that has been printed. You see a new line has been printed here. So can you see a new line has been printed here? That is so I am going to do it in a before that. Okay, so I am not going to write it here, because as soon as I enter, that will be accepted by scanf, and that will be printed here as a new line character. Okay. So I will do that, solve that problem. In this way, you have to solve different problems. Okay. So SC, maybe again I will face some problem. I have to solve SCANF, scanf. See, again some problem will appear. I will just tell that scanf problem is to be solved. Okay. Person A. Okay, then semicolon. So let us check what happens. Now say capital L. Okay, it is working because it is not holding the previous values. In some compiler, it holds the previous values, but in this compiler, it is not holding. Okay, now it is working. But you can check the differences. In the previous case, that gap was a new line was there. Right now, L is there. Okay, so the problem is solved in this particular compiler. So if you face a problem in writing scanf in some position with %C, you have to intimate me at that time. I will just tell you how to solve that. You will try yourself how to solve that in your own way. If you fail, then you have to ask me, then I will just suggest you what to do. Right now, I am not going to share that to you. I know in some compiler, the problem appears. Okay. So it is your logic that will help you to solve different problems. Okay. So this is scanf. Now, instead of scanf, I am going to use another mechanism. Okay. You see, that is handy, this little bit handy. Okay. So you write A equals to GTCH, get CH, GTCH. Okay. Now, let us check what happens. It is giving some errors. Hmm? Get ch is not.
Sir, I
Whatever.
have a question, sir.
Yes. What
Sir,
question?
what's the purpose of int main before the
Ah,
argument start?
that I told you. Every function, a function may return a value or may not return a value. Suppose you are calling printf, so printf is returning you a value integer. In that case, if some other function calls main will return. If I write say x equals to main in some other module, so that value of x will be 0 because the main returns 0. Okay. So every function has some return type. So this is the return type. If you don't want to return any value, you write here void. So, okay, let me check whether void is okay. It is taking gets. It is allowing. Okay, 5 4. It is allowing whatever it may be. I will come to that point. But you check. You check. I am writing void. 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 Okay. Void means no return is required. I am just making it. You see. Okay, I will delete that. I will delete that. I will not make it. Now I have changed it to void. Will it run? Let me check.
Sir, break.
What is implicit declaration of function get ch? Okay, get ch that is I am just removing.
Sir, can you give us a break?
No. Break is not required. Break means break.
Yes, sir.
No. In that case, break is not required. Okay. So you see, I am using this get ch as a comment. You see, I am just explaining the meaning of this int and void before main. Okay, you see 2 and 3. It is working. So what is the meaning of that? I am not using int, but I am using void. What does it mean? That means that main will not return as any value to the function that will call main. Okay, so return type of main is void. That means main will not return any value. Okay, so in this way, if you don't have any intention to return some value from a particular function, you use void in place of that return type. In place you use, you use void. So that is one solution. So okay, so now why the getchar is not working? Let us check once again. Why this getch is not working? What is the error that it is giving? So this is one thing. Warning, it is giving warning. Okay. Implicit declaration of the function getch. Did you mean getch? That means it is not getting any definition of this getch like this. It is giving getch as error. Okay. So it is suggesting you to use getch. Okay. It is suggesting you to use getch. So let us use getch. Get a character. Getch. Okay. Let us use getc. Okay, now it will be accepted. Okay, you run the program. Getc again. It is giving in file include. So getc some error. The arguments of few arguments of getc. That means getc needs some arguments. Okay. Okay. So let us check whether getchar 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 it works or not. It is working. Getchar is working. So there are different alternative ways. So I am just entering the capital S. Okay, then value of integers is 7. Okay, another integer say 3. You see, it's working. So it depends on compilers whether it will work or not. It depends on compilers, but different other ways are there to make them activated. Okay, I will come to that point. So now you know how to accept the characters integer floats. Suppose I make these as floating points. Okay, FLO float. Sorry, FLOA float. Okay, float xyz. So how I change these values? I will change this to f. I will change this to f. Okay. Now how we print this the value of z? We use f. That's enough. That's enough. I am just removing these lines. Removing these lines.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, sorry to interrupt. Can you give us a 10 minutes break?
Yes, I will give 10 minutes break. Okay. So now 10:20, 4:20, I will give break of 10 minutes. So at 4:30, so we will start, but with a new assignment number 3. Okay, I will post that assignment in between 10 minutes. Okay, okay,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
okay, 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 okay. I know that. So you require some break. Okay, so let me run this program. I should run. Okay, you see 12.8. Okay, then another in floating point value say 2.1. So let us check. Okay, 14.9000. Okay, you see the 14.9123456. 6 digits are there. Okay, I will modify that to say 2 point, say for example 2.2, sorry 4.2. So total 4 digits and 2 digits after the decimal point. So let us check whether, sorry, percent 4.2 will it work? It will not work, I think. Percent 4.2. Let us check. It will give some error. No, it is not giving. It is working. So 12.8 and 1.1. Now you can check the difference. It is saying 13.90. Oh, where are the other zeros? I have restricted these using 4.2. The total four digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and out of 4, 2 are after decimal point. So these are the formatting. I mean, this technique. So you will learn this from your books. Okay, 13 points. So let me change it to say 2 points. So you can do this experiment yourself. Okay, say I will change it to 5.5.3. Let us check what happens. 12.8 and 2.1. What happens?
Sir, your
You
voice
see?
is lagging.
Okay, now you see the output. So can you?
We can't hear.
Okay, you see the output. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, it's fine.
It
Yes,
is
sir,
fine.
it's fine.
I think the problem is from your end because other students can hear me.
Yes, sir, the problem is in his end only, I
I,
think.
I think so.
It
I
may
think
be,
so.
sir. It may be.
Okay. Okay. So this is the difference you see. Okay. Let us take a break of say 10 minutes. It's 4:30. We'll come back at say 4:20. We will come back at 4:30. Okay. 4:35. Make it 4:35. Okay. Make it 4:35. I will come back. Okay. You just do your own activities, individual activities. We call that as individual activities. Okay. Okay. You do it. Okay. Okay. You do it. Let me. Okay. Now again, okay, now all of you just check in the Google Classroom. I have uploaded the third assignment on basic C programming. I mean simple C programming using scanf, printf, and like this. Very simple programming, mainly based on arithmetic operations. I mean taking input output and some basic arithmetic instructions. Okay. Now let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Now what you have to do, you see, this is the assignment. The first one is write a program in C to accept the length of three sides of a triangle. The program will then find the area of the triangle. So you have to take input the length of the three sides of a triangle. So what do you think? What should be the data type of the three sides? So it depends on you. How logically you can think, that is a matter. I will just check how logically you can think the data type. So suppose I think that should be taken as, so initially you take it as floating point numbers. Okay, you take it, better you take it as floating point numbers, and then you find out the area of the triangle. You know how to calculate, you know.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, I'm not
Sir, can
audible.
I do? No, sir, you are audible.
Hmm.
Sir, can I do it in C++?
No, you use, I will always check whether the extension is .c or not. Okay. Okay. And I suggest you not to use any, say, IOStream like this. So you better you use C language. Okay. Because in your course curriculum, in your syllabus, it is clearly mentioned that you are to use C language only. Okay. So you
Okay, sir.
use C program. Okay. So, so how you solve this? You think yourself, you know, if the three sides are A, B, and C, three variables, floating point variables you take and accept the value using scanf, %f that is required, then you find out the S equals to A plus B plus C by, 2, that half perimeter, that is, and then you know the formula. So then you have to use one thing. I must make it clear. So one thing, I will give one example how to use the library functions. Okay, other library functions. For example, I am using, say, this one, say int say x equals to, I am just making it very simple. Then say printf, printf, say percent, and percent, say lf. Okay, lf, that is double. Lf means double. ld means it's long int. So I am going to print one, say lf. Okay, percent lf, then comma, then sqrt, okay, square root of, then say x, okay, square root of x. Now let us check what happens. Now let us printf, printf. Okay, I have written printf. Okay. I have written printf and void, so no return statement is required because I have used void main. Main will not return any value to the function that we will call main. Okay, now let us check what happens. What happens? Let us check. Maybe it will give some warning, or maybe it will give some error. So what happens? Let us check. It is not working. It is working. It is working. It is giving 8, but some warning is there. Math.h or provide a declaration for SQRT. So this is the beauty of this compiler. It is working. Still it is working. Okay, so in your compiler you will fail to do so. I must say that you fail to do so until and unless you include #includ, then you write math.h, math.h, that is required when you go for using some mathematical functions. So SQRT, POW, POW, that belongs to that particular category, and math.h contains the prototypes of these functions, library functions. Okay, now let us run. What happens? Let us check. Now it's fine, no warning, nothing. Okay, 8 dot. So the beauty of this compiler is that it is detecting math.h is required for this particular case. It is incorporating that into that. But in your case, when you use in Ubuntu, when you use ANSYS, that will not happen. You are to include math.h. Surely you are to include math.h. And another thing you note down, in Ubuntu, you are to use terminal. In the previous class, I explained you are to use terminal. So how you compile in the terminal? So you are to write cc space minus lm. That is option cc minus lm. I should write that here. You just follow. How you compile? Cc space minus lm, then the name of the program. Say xyz.c in this manner. Okay. Cc minus lm. What is the meaning of minus lm? Library math. That means you are going to compile a C program that contains math.h. And in some compiler, it will not be accepted if you give minus lm in between, but it should be. But sometimes it happens that it will not be accepted. Then how to solve? Cc minus xyz.c minus ln. Okay. Note down. In the previous class, I taught you how to use minus o, cc minus o. Now today you just learn it how to use math.h, when to use math.h, and how to compile the C programs containing math.h from the terminal in I mean ANSYS in Ubuntu. Okay, so that is very clear. You note down this one. You just follow this thing. But here it is not required. I am not doing that. Okay, now you see. This is the program. So that means you know how to find out the square root. Square root s into s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. You know how to solve this. That mathematics you have to find out. So you must know, because how to find out the I mean the area of a triangle given the 3 sides, the length of the 3 sides. So you accept the value of 3 sides. You find out the area of the triangle. Then the next program, write a C program to convert some given Fahrenheit scale temperature to its corresponding Celsius scale value. How you do that? You know the formula, C by 5 equals to m minus 32 by 9. Now you know side change, sign change. You write a portion. So C program that will some given the Fahrenheit scale temperature to its corresponding Celsius scale. So C by 5 equals to m minus 32 by 9. So C equals to C by 5 equals to m minus 32 by 9. So C equals to m minus 32 by 9 into 5. So you write that in proper way. Okay, in proper way. If you face any difficulty, I will be there in the next class to help you. So this is, I think you will be able to do that, and write a program in C to swap the contents of 2 variables. Swap the contents of 2 variables. Let me just explain that. I should write one program for that. Okay. So two variables that the values of which are to be exchanged. So if you accept x equals to 7 and y equals to 5, then after running the program, the value of x will be the value of y and value of y will be the value of x. So how can you solve that program? You have a container containing blue water, another container containing red water. So how you just change the container? The blue will come in red and red will come in blue. How you do that? So you take the help of a third container. You pour the blue colored liquid into the third container. Then pour the red color liquid into the container of blue color. Pour the liquid of third container into the container of red color. So with the help of a third container, you can do that. Similarly, you just take the help of a third variable to exchange the value of without using a third variable. So say x comma y are two variables, and I will use the third variable, say temporary variable temp, and then printf. I will just write there, enter the values of two values. I am explicitly writing ent or enter the values of. I am just, for example, writing directly as x and y, though it is not a proper way, but I am okay. I am writing. Enter the value of x and y. Okay. Now I am just using the technique of swapping. I will write temp equals to x. So what happens? The value of x will be transferred into temp. Now you change the value of x to y. So now while y will be modified by the value of x will be modified by the value of y. Now what happens? The y will be modified by the value of previous x, that is temp. Okay, you know what is the reason behind taking this step? As soon as you change the value of x by y, then the value of x and y will become same. So how you store the, how you just put the previous value of x into y? That's why you have to take a temporary variable where you preserve the value of x. You preserve the value of x into temp, copy the value of y into x. Now in this line, x equals to y, the value of x and y are same. Now you change the value of y to the previous value of x, which is preserved into temp. So this is the now I am writing, you see, comment C and then comment B. You use control, comment B, you use. So I am just writing in this way. You see, \n, then say after swapping AFTR, after SWAPCING, after swapping, again I am just trying to you know how to do that. I am just writing 1 2, let me check, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Okay, I will give 15 such. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Now I will backslash n %d. Okay? Then in the new line, in the another line, I will write, so backslash n %d, then the new values of x and y, that is x comma y. Fine, as simple as this. Now let us check what happens. Let us check. So run the program. What is happening? It is nothing, because some garbage values are there, because I missed scanf. Okay, SCANF, scanf, enter the values of x and y. So you have to write then the address of x and y, comma ampersand x, comma ampersand y. Now it will. Okay, you take the program. You see, run the program. Okay, Now enter the value of x and y. You enter x equals to say 5 and y equals to say 7. Now after swapping 7 5. So I should write here x equals to %d and then y equals to %d. Now let us check what happens. Enter the value of x and y. X is 5, y is 7. Okay. Now x equals to 7, y equals to 5. You see?
Sir, can we use swap x comma y?
No, not like that. Not like that. So you write it yourself. Okay, you write it. No such swap function is there. You check it. Do you have any such function? Swap x. So have you checked it in your compiler? I think I
Yes,
know
sir.
such
We can run swap x comma y in first bracket.
It is working. It is working.
Yes, sir, it works.
Okay, but you don't use that. Okay, you use this technique because right now you are not allowed to do this. Okay, because you know the programming is one of the way of developing logic. Okay, so you try to use your own logic. Okay, so it's to your brain will be much more sharper if you just think yourself. That's why we give importance in C, because in C, so you know the Python is in very much used in today's world, but one problem is that everything is ready-made there. Everything is ready-made there. Your programming logic will be just developed if you just write your program using C language. Okay, because here the availability of such functions are not there. So okay. So you use this technique. No, not that swap. Okay, not that swap. And without using, so how you use, so I mentioned that using without using a third variable, using a third variable. Okay, now using a third variable, I have completed that. Now I am just going for without using this 10. Okay, you are not allowed to say use this 10. So how you do that? So I'm just initially I'm telling you some of these things. So I'm writing x equals to x plus y. Okay, then I will write x equals to x plus y. Then say x equals to 5, y equals to 7. Then what will be the value of x here at this point of execution? It will be 12. Okay, so if I just subtract y from the sum, then what you get? If I subtract y from, yes, so x minus y is now here, y is not, x is not x, it is x plus y. The value of x is 5 and 7, so it will be calculated first 12, and that 12 will be assigned within x. So the x contains the value 12 here, that is sum of x and y. So you write 12 minus the value of y. What you get? You get the value of x that will be assigned in y. As simple as this. So y will get the value of x because you are subtracting y from their sum. Now what happens? Now y is modified. Y is containing the value of x. Now you write x equals to the sum of these two variables minus y. So what is y? Y is now holding the value, previous value of x. So the x will get the value of y. So now let us check whether it works or not. Okay, enter the value of x and y. So 5 and 7. It is 7 and 5. So it is without using a third variable. So this is one question that CTS, you know, cognizant. So you know, in our Salt Lake Sector 5, the cognizant has their office there in Calcutta. So many of my students are working there right now. And when I go there, I just, it's very good for me that they are working there. I like it. Okay, so the CTS, though CTS is, our students like to get the better job than CTS, but still, this is one branded question of CTS and TCS. So you know Tata Consultancy Services, you also know that TCS, CTS, Infosys, So mainly TCS and CTS. So in other software companies, they like to ask these questions, swap the contents of two variables without using third variable. So this is as simple as this. You go for this. Okay. So now you see this question that will be solved by you. Now write a program in C to find the sum of the digits and reverse of a given 3-digit number. I am mentioning here you that you are to use a 3-digit number, and you are not allowed to use any loop. Okay, though you know loop, but you are not allowed to use any loop in this program. So when that time will come, I will mention now you use loop, but right now do not use any loop. So that's why I am restricting the number of digits to 3. So you use a 3-digit number, say for example 123. How to find out the sum of the digits? Very simple, you have to extract 1, 2 and 3 from that decimal value, that number 123. How you extract 1, how you extract 2, how you extract 3? So you know modulo remainder 123 by 10. So what you get as remainder? What will be the remainder? 123 by 10. 12 will be the quotient and remainder will be 3.
3.
3. Okay. So if x is the number, then x equals to x by 10 will give you the quotient and x modulo. Okay, I should tell that. I should tell that. Okay, how you know? So this is a module operator. I am just showing you. Okay. Say I am deleting these values from here. I'm telling you, you just follow the classes. Yeah? Sometimes maybe I will not be there throughout the day, but right now I am just with you. Even I am not taking the help of my PhD scholars. I am with you. You listen carefully, at least for the first few classes. Then I will make you free as far as possible. Okay. X equals to say 123. Now, how to find out? Say I use one remainder and one quotient. Okay, so let us use r equals to x, and this is the module operator, modulo 10. Okay, that means x will be divided by 10 and the remainder will be stored in r. So what is the remainder? Divided by 10. So 123 by 10, you will get 3 as remainder. So 3 will be stored in R, and you just quotient, that quotient equals to x by 10. Okay. Okay, now let us check. So the things are not required. So I will just print here. Say R equals to %d backslash n, q equals to %d. Q equals to %d, that is R and Q. Okay, now let us check what happens. Okay, you see, is it clear to you? You see, the 3 is the digit. You see, 3 is the digit, 3. So that is stored in R, and Q is 12. Now say I am using, say, R1, comma, R2, and I am using R1 here. Okay, now I am using this Q as say R2 equals to Q.
So Q modulo 10.
Q equals to you just see what I'm doing. Okay, Q modulo 10. Now what happens? I will print. R1 and R2. Okay, there are different ways. Okay, I am just not modifying. If you like, I will. Okay, you see what I'm trying to do. R2. Okay, and then R1. Now see what happens. Okay, you see R1 equals to 3, R2 equals to what is 2? This is 123, 2. Okay, that means you just find out Q, that is 12, and again 12 divided by 10, what remainder you get? You get 2. that is the next digit, and it can be modified like this: x equals to x by 10. This I don't require this q at all. Okay, the first the value of x. In that case, you will just lose the value of that will not be with you. The initial value of u will be lost. The value of x will be lost if you just do in this way. R1 equals to x modulus 10. R1 will be 3. X will be modified by 123 by 10. X will be 12. Then you write like this. Okay, like this. X will equals to x modulo 10. Then you write say x equals to x by 10. So what you get? You get that R1. So directly, so better you write R. Okay, not required. Directly you write x. But you just apply your logic how that problem can be solved in other ways. Okay, you apply your logic. So everything I must not mention. Huh? I must not mention everything. I have missed 1% D here. Okay, so R3, R3. Better. I will use D1, D2, D3. Digit 1. That will be digit 2. Sorry, digit 2 and comma digit 3. Okay, so you just replace this by D. That will be much more meaningful. Digit. Okay, I like to say digit 2 and then digit 3. Digit 3 that is same as okay. Digit 3 is same as x. Okay, x that is not required. Like this. The last step that will be okay. R3, R2 equals to, you change it to D1. Sorry, you change it to D1, D2, and then D3. You change it to D1, D2, D3. Okay. So now let us check what happens. Some problem. What is the problem? D3 equals to %D. %D. This kind of mistakes will make you learn enough. Okay. So as much as mistakes you will do, you will learn more. As much mistake as you will do, you will learn more. Okay. So integers, I am telling you, comma, say SUM, sum. So you find out the sum here. SUM equals to D1 plus D2 plus D3. Now you write here comma SUM. You write here backslash n SUM equals to %D. Now let us check. Again, some mistake. What is the mistake?
So semicolon.
Yes, that is. That's why. Now you are the teacher. I told you na initially. Students are the teacher of teachers. Okay. 6. Now you apply your own logic how to find out the reverse of sum. Okay. How to find out the reverse of particular number 122, not the reverse of sum, reverse of 123. You apply your own logic. Okay. I am giving you one clue. X equals to 100 into 1 plus 2 into 10 plus 3 into 1. Now, if you want to make it 321, it should be, now you think yourself. 3 into 100, 2 into 10, and 1 into, you think yourself. Okay, I must not say that. It's very simple. How to reverse a given number, given the digits. If you get the digits, then it will be very easy for you to reverse the number. So I have given you a 3-digit number. For the sake of simplicity, when you study loop, I will extend it for any number of digits, provided given the length of the, I mean the precision. I mean you cannot store a number that exceeds the range of integer. You cannot store that into the integer variable. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can I use this online C compiler for the assignment?
Yes, you do it. You go for it. You go for it. But you have to know how to compile it in ANSI C. So side by side, I will go on telling how to compile and how to run. Okay. So
Okay,
you
sir.
just listen. Okay. You have to know. Okay. And you apply your logic to solve the problems. Here, mainly, I will just keep my focus on how you are solving your approach. Maybe in some cases, your entire program is not correct, but partially correct. I will go for giving some marks there. If your initial approach is correct, that should be the approach of the teachers. Because maybe you have missed some semicolon. So will I cut the full marks? No, never. So okay, depending on your if you are a very you just say you are scoring more than 90%, then surely I will cut some marks for your semicolon to get the full mark 50 100 out of 100 or 50 out of 50. You have to be very cautious. So in that case, maybe I will cut half marks for missing a semicolon. But in case the student is failing, so you tell me what should I do. I will do accordingly. Okay, now you just check. Write a C program to implement the functionality of a NOT gate. You know NOT gate. If the input is 0, the output will be 1. If the input is 1, the output will be 0. So if you enter 1, we will get 0. If you enter 0, we will get 1. You try to apply your own logic. You just think yourself. Actually, that is a one-line program. One-line program. Even okay, you think yourself. Not get functionality of a not get. That means you will give input as 1, you will get output as 0. You will get input as 0, you will get output as 1. And the next program already I discussed that size of write a C to find out the sum and average of two numbers. Yes.
So do we need to explain each step? I mean, by giving comments?
No. So I prefer comments in case of some say complex portions, but very simple things you don't need to explain.
And sir, can we use loop in this?
No. I mentioned initially that no. I will just mention everything at that time. So in this program, no loop, no if else, nothing. Only sequence control structure. Okay, no if, no else, no loop, nothing. Only simple sequence control structure with some say mathematical related function. I mean yes, SQRT like this kind of thing. Okay. Not any decision control or loop structure. Okay, I mean if else or while, for, do while, these are not allowed. Even break is not required there. Switch case is not required there. Only this. Okay, so you see, write a program in C to find the sum and average of two numbers where one number is even, another number is odd. Okay. So you just input two numbers. You don't need to check whether you are entering the inputs correctly or not. I am assuming that you will enter the numbers correctly. That means one number will be even and another number will be odd. So let me check what happens. So can anyone from you tell me if I input one number as even and another number as odd, then the average will be floating or integer? Anyone from you?
Float.
Yes, it will be float. Yes. Now, okay. So you see, I am just writing the program like this. You just see, I am using, say for example, x as a even number, say 6, and say y. Very interesting. You just go on watching. Even if maybe you know, but still you just listen. Okay. Let us enjoy the subject. When it becomes a burden for us, you will not be happy with. So just do it happily, okay? Happily. No pressure on you, nothing. You will ask, sir, please give us more experiments, more assignments, then I will be happy. Okay. So no pressure on you. Okay, now we have to find out their average. Okay, so now tell me what should I write? So normally what we do, the two numbers are there, x plus y, then I will write say by 2. Okay, no problem, but let us check what happens. Okay, so this is the thing, very interesting. You see, x plus y by 2, no problem, average. So I should write ATG, ATG average, and I should declare, as you are saying, it's a floating point number, I should declare it as a, you are saying, so FLO, AT float, ATG. So what you say, I will do that. Okay, I am writing ATG equals to this, and then how I print ATG? Anyone from you suggest? ATG equals to, you are saying it is floating, so percent F, should I not write that? Yes, I should write that. You are saying it is floating point. So I will write uh, AVG. So average AVE RA GE. Okay, average comes to question. It's very simple. Now let us check. It should be what it should give. Now anyone from you? What value you get? 7 plus 6, 13. It should be 6.5. It should be 6.5. Now let us check. It should be 6.5. But what comes? Yes, it's coming 6. Why? Why it is coming 6? It should be
Sir, the 6 divided by 2.
Average equal to 0.0. Otherwise, it will throw value. It should be 2.0.
Yes, that is the correct answer. 2.0. If you want to get any floating point value in any arithmetic instruction, so then at least one of these must be a floating point. Okay. So at least one of these two must be floating point. So I make it as, okay, now you see it's 6.5, no problem. Now suppose you don't know the how many numbers you are accepting through keyboard, say n number of inputs, say n is 2, how you solve that problem? Then we use explicit typecasting. You make this sum as float, FLOAT, float. This is called explicit typecasting. Your Saturday will take class and we'll explain that. Okay, you just see it. Float, that means temporarily x and y are fine. They are integers, but after performing their sum, evaluating their sum, that is 13, we are converting 13 to float. That means it will become 13.000. Then at least one of these two will become floating point. Now let us check whether it will work or not. Okay, it is working. It is working. Okay, that means this typecasting is working in this particular compiler, and it will work in every compiler. Okay, I am telling you. So float means this kind of conversion of data type in a particular space of a program body is called typecasting, and sometimes this typecasting occurs implicitly. Okay, implicitly, and sometimes you have to forcefully make it. You have to explicitly make it float. You see, float. You have to write float like this. This is called typecasting, and my objective in giving this program, just that is the that I want to know whether you know whether how to get a floating point number in from an even from the evaluation calculation of an expression. So at least one of these numbers must be floating point number to get the floating point value. Okay. Now this is a very simple one. Write a program in C to find the salary. You just do it, and this is another calculation. And should I leave this one? Okay, you do it. You do it. You do it. You do it. Very simple one. Very simple. So 9 programs are there. You have to complete it by Wednesday 11:59. Okay, in the night. And in case of any emergency or in case of any, this is a COVID situation. So you must not. Should I say cheat? No, I should not say like that. So you must not push me in the state of confusion. Okay, you must not make me fool in the sense that you are not doing anything, and at the end you will say, "Sir, please extend the date by 5 days without any reason." Okay, you please don't do like that. But in case of emergency, in case of serious problem, you must intimate me that, "Sir, please extend by 1 or 2 more days. We'll submit within 2 or 3 days." Okay, I must consider, but you have to be very true from your heart. I am telling everything from my heart to you. Okay, so I am like this, and you must be like this in dealing with me. Okay, so you can deal me very well if you are true from your heart. Okay, I will believe you wholeheartedly. I will believe you. Okay, so I am telling you, in case of any problem, any emergency, any class test, any other exams, you have to be very free to me. Okay, so this is that I can say. What should I say more than that? Okay, so at least some from the other end must understand your problem. So I want to understand your problem. So hmm, try to share your problems with me from your heart. Okay, okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Any other
Sir, we have
questions?
to
If
make the
you
single PDF of all the questions.
yes, I have mentioned it. I have mentioned that in the instructions. You see, I have mentioned that in the instructions. I mean, you just write everything in a Word file and then you prepare. Okay, this is in scattered manner. Let me edit. You prepare in a Word file and then you convert it to PDF. That will be. So what you do? This is the submission instruction. Okay, how you submit? So you at the top. So that is not mandatory. Computer practice laboratory at the top of your copy at the front page you do that, and then one after another you start writing your assignments page by page. So what you have to write? You have to write assignment number 3 for this one. Next one assignment number 4. Then you write your name in this way. Okay, name, student's name. It should be like this actually. Then you This is a template. We call this as template. Template means pattern. Okay, pattern.
Sir, is this the front page?
No, no, no. The front page you write computer practice laboratory, then your name, roll number, etc., etc. And every page, because you will submit it in different PDFs will come to me. Na? How I will identify which one belongs to which student. Na? So that's why at the beginning of each PDF file corresponding to each assignment, you have to write this. Otherwise, how I will identify and check which is submitted by who? Okay. So you mention student's name, your exam roll number, then you write question number, say question 1, question 2, question 3, like this, question number. Then problem statement, that means directly you just copy this from whatever I have just uploaded that here. You write, we have to write a program to find out the sum of two numbers like this and average. Okay, then you write the program, problem statement, then program, and then output the screenshots. Okay, and then
So we
you
can write a problem statement in that coding part by writing comments first.
yes, yes, you can do that. Okay, that is acceptable. Acceptable. That is a good suggestion. You can do that. So screenshots of output means screenshots of at least 2 run. I expect more, but the 2. Okay, that's fine. I will just accept. Okay, at least 2 runs. Please follow the above format for each of the programs and turn in. You know how to turn in. You have to turn in. Otherwise, it will not be submitted in proper way. You have to turn in from your end. So turn in each of the programs and turn in a and turn in a okay and turn in from your end, turn in a single PDF file containing all the programs. So you in the Word file you just do one by one, and then make it a PDF one and then upload this and turn in. Okay, you turn in. So this is okay. You save that. Save. you solution. You question. No pressure on you. Why not be able to complete it in 2 to 3 days? Okay, you have other activities. So you do it. Hmm? Whatever compiler you like to use. Okay? Now you can leave the meeting. Okay, it's 5:22. So you can leave the meeting. So if you have
Thank
any
you, sir.
query, you can ask. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
we
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir,
sir.
is tomorrow is a
Thank
holiday.
you, sir. Tomorrow what is? Okay, let me check. Okay, okay, I will intimate. Let me check. Tomorrow is Friday, na? Friday, na? The date is 14th. 14th. Let me check. I have the academic calendar with me. I will just tell you whether it's a holiday or not. Hmm. Okay. It's January. January, no. Only one holiday in January. That is the on Wednesday, 26th January, Republic Day. Okay, Republic Day. Republic Day. And some, maybe you are asking 9th, Sunday, 13th. Today is Lori, but that is a restricted holiday. 14th is Pongal, Makar Sankranti, but that is a restricted holiday and that is for the teachers.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I am
That
talking
is for
about
the
Makar Sankranti.
okay, so that is for the teachers, not for the students. So teachers can take two such restricted holidays out of a scheduled list of restricted holidays. In this year, 36 such restricted holidays are there. Out of these 36, teachers can avail two out of these 36. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello,
Mhm.
sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I have a sir, question.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Okay, you
sir,
ask.
sir, yesterday about sir Swami Vivekananda scholarship, you gave sir a numbers of Abhijit sir. I sir called
Mhm.
him. Sir,
Mhm.
actually sir, my higher secondary is in 2020, but I took admission in 2021. So
Mhm.
they are asking me a document regarding not applying in 2020.